There is truly no better time to start a business than 2025. And looking at the astrology of 2025 can actually give you a lot of motivation to finally get that business off the ground and make it a reality. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down not just the astrology of 2025, but also these 7 businesses that are going to be fantastic to start in 2025 and beyond. As a business astrologer, one of my absolute favorite things to do is to help my clients use astrology to start, grow, and scale their online businesses. And looking at the astrology of 2025 is no different. There are quite a few things that I noticed about 2025 astrology and the businesses that are going to really be in demand in the new year. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what those are and different ways that you can get started with them by using the astrology of 2025. But before we get into that, of course, we have to talk about exactly what the astrology of 2025 is looking like. I'm going to have a whole video breaking down the full astrology of 2025, but I do want to showcase the highlights, the things that are going to be the most impactful when it comes to creating or elevating your business for 2025. The biggest thing to know is that all of the outer planets, so Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they're all going to be changing signs, which is a really big deal. The outer planets traditionally move extremely slowly. They take years upon years to change signs. So when they do move from one sign to another, it is a big deal. The outer planets also rule over generations. They rule over the community rather than the individual, like the personal planets do. And so looking at this and noting that the biggest momentum that is happening in 2025 is the changing of the guard for the outer planets, this really signals that it is time to look at what the community needs. How can we use our individual gifts and strengths and the things that we do naturally and that we are the best at? How can we use those things to better the community, the collective, the group at large, rather than just looking at what we individually want to do? Out of everything else I'm going to talk about in this video, this is the biggest takeaway that I want you to know. Doesn't matter if the business that you want to start is on this list or not. If you are able to use your gifts, your strengths, your knowledge, and your expertise for the betterment of the collective, then that is the business that you should be starting in 2025. Now, getting into the specifics of the 2025 astrology, my eyes are definitely on the fact that Jupiter and Saturn, which are the outer planets that are used in traditional astrology, are going to be moving into 2 signs in particular. Saturn is going to be moving from Pisces into Aries, and Jupiter is going to be moving from Gemini into Cancer. So these both signify, the changing of the guard in regards to what these signs and these planets represent. Saturn moving from Pisces into Aries is definitely this signaling that there is going to be a major focus now, not just on spirituality and groups and collectivism around these things, but there's going to be an increased interest in how we can take action towards them. Aries is a fire sign. Its motivations and its nature is to move towards taking action, to doing something with the knowledge that has been accumulated, and specifically to move first, to go before others necessarily catch on or give the permission to do so. There's also going to be, I think, this really big pull towards using your skills and the things that you have mastered specifically with the energy of Saturn to use for the betterment of what areas, what communities are in need of protections, right? So this can be specifically children, which Aries does represent in a lot of ways. This can also be motivation towards what you can use your skills and your gifts and your strengths to protect. What are things that you deeply want to see changed, and how can you use your skills to help motivate towards that change that you would like to see? Jupiter, on the other hand, is moving from Gemini into Cancer, where it actually loves to be in. It's rejoicing. So it's moving out of this phase of being restricted into a sign where it finds joy and pleasure and it's able to do its best work. Jupiter is also the great teacher. It's the greater benefic planet. So its nature is to bring ease where it is touching. So again, this really big pull, I think, towards a collective stance around helping marginalized communities, especially women, femme folks, children, marginalized groups that perhaps historically have not been uplifted and centered as much as they needed to be. In 2025 and beyond, we're going to start to see the momentum and the shift towards these groups of people having that collective power. They're finding their voice. They're being uplifted and supported by other groups. And in turn, there's this really important changing of the guard to not just highlight what is the future that these groups are envisioning, but now we're starting to see the very real action being put towards making that future a reality, which is so incredibly exciting. And so noting this as the highlight of the astrology of 2025 is a really big deal, because this is where your mindset needs to be when it comes to creating a business that is going to last for 2025 and beyond. So when it comes to thinking about, okay, what are the things that your gifts, your strengths, your expertise are going to be best suited for, consider this in your business plan. What are the themes that you are naturally drawn to? What are the problems that you are specifically designed to create solutions around? And especially if you have experience in solving these solutions, in working with certain communities or in solving specific problems, creating your own solutions. The astrology of 2025 is really supportive for this to gain momentum and to be something that people are really drawn to. So let's get into these 7 businesses that you can start based on the astrology of 2025. The first business that is going to be great to start in 2025 are going to be more of an umbrella, but one-on-one services. There has definitely been this large shift towards working with people individually. And I'm definitely seeing that in 2025, there's going to be more of a pull for this. So this is going to be great if you are somebody that's already in a service provider niche, you're coaching, you're consulting, or you're providing a service of some kind, or you've been thinking about transitioning or getting into these fields. Now is the best time to do so. Why? Because people are looking for that individual support, especially with the rise of AI and technology. There's been a lot of fear that it's going to take away from creative fields. It's going to take away from people wanting to work with folks individually. But I think that can be further from the truth. In fact, there's going to be even more of a desire for people to work with folks one-on-one. They want the individual support. They want the specific support around what it is that they are individually doing. Even if you specialize in working with a specific niche or group, there's going to be this huge desire in 2025 and beyond to work with people on an individual level. They want the expertise and the experience and the solutions around what they are specifically doing. And so even if you don't want to specialize solely in one-on-one services, offering some sort of one-on-one service, whether it is having a one-off call offer or long-term one-on-one services that you are working with clients over a length of time, this is going to be fantastic use of the energy of 2025. Again, the astrology is really pointing towards creating solutions around deep problems that people have been experiencing for quite some time, the unsettling, the unrest that people have been feeling and that has been building up for the last few years. People are really going to be actively looking for solutions during this time. And so if you can provide one-on-one services that speak directly to solving those problems, that's going to be a really fantastic way to get your business off the ground. So the second business to start in 2025 is going to be coaching. So this may be a little controversial because I know people have very strong opinions about coaching, but when it's done well, coaching can be a fantastic service to provide and something that is deeply needed, because coaching is essentially doing what one-on-one services is pointing to. It's using your skills and your knowledge and expertise to guide people through creating their own solutions and crafting what they envision their specific business or health or relationships to look like, and getting the individual guidance from a coach to support them along the journey of building that. That's incredibly valuable. Now, in the past few years, so many coaches have moved towards scalability, and they've really sacrificed that one-on-one high touch individual support. But I think for the coaching industry in general, it's actually hurt a lot more than it's helped. So in 2025, I definitely see there being a rise and even a return in one-on-one coaching, and people that are specifically looking for coaches to help them on an individual level, especially when it comes to folks that are more experienced in their business, looking to grow, to scale, to move from one point of their experience and their expertise into another. They're going to be looking for coaches who have experience in doing that. So they're really going to be looking for coaches who have that knowledge, that expertise, that track record of supporting their clients in the specific thing that they would like to see growth-wise in their business. They're also going to be looking for coaches who just have a track record of being able to provide individual results. So being able to not just sell people on a dream and a solution, but to have a proven framework that you can walk people through, to have the receipts to back up what it is that you're doing, and not just saying that you know how to do something or how to solve the specific problem for your clients. There's definitely going to be a rise of that. And even if there isn't going to be a focus specifically on one-on-one services, there definitely can be an incorporation of one-on-one coaching within your existing coaching business. So for example, maybe you opportunities for one-on-one coaching inside of your group programs, or opportunities to get one-on-one support inside of more static offers that you have within your coaching business. There's so many different ways to play with this, but ultimately thinking about the opportunities that you can provide one-on-one support, even within a group or a larger coaching container, is going to be incredibly valuable. Now, similar to this, the next business that you can start in 2025 is going to be consulting. So consulting is different from coaching in the sense that consulting is actually centered around providing the solution, where coaching is very much centered on how you can walk people through a specific process. You're not necessarily giving them the answers, but you are providing support as they move through the journey on their own, maybe providing the steps on how to get there, but your clients are ultimately responsible for going through that path, and you're there to provide guidance and support. Consulting, on the other hand, is about giving your clients like the answers. You're telling them what to do. You're creating that framework or that process for them to follow. But both coaching and consulting work in the sense that they help your clients to find your own answers. So consulting is going to be highly valuable in 2025 and beyond, because again, people want the solutions. They want to be able to get the thing that they want so much faster. And so you're going to see there being an increase for sure of people that know that they want to start a business, they want to get healthy, they want to build relationships, they want to create some sort of change, and they want the solution provided to them. Maybe they don't want to spend an accelerated amount of time in trying to create their own framework, but instead they're really looking for the support to jumpstart, to get started, to build that momentum from the jump. That's where consulting is really going to shine. And so if you have experience and expertise in doing a specific thing, this is where I think niching actually works to your advantage more so than any other kind of service provider. When you are a consultant and you're able to be very clear on what your expertise is, what it is that you've helped your clients to do, that's going to help to attract those exact people to your business. And so in order to have a really successful consulting business in 2025 and beyond, especially looking at the astrology, it's really going to come down to understanding what is it that your people are looking for solutions around, and how can you emphasize the expertise and the experience that you have in working with that field in order to support your clients in creating this framework, this process of success that they can then use within their own business to jumpstart, to begin their own solutions. So we are moving right along. The next business to start in 2025 is going to be a service provider. So this is, again, another umbrella field, but I think this is so important because, again, people are going to be very solution oriented, but they may not necessarily want to be working with a coach or consultant specifically. Maybe they want assistance and support around implementing on different ideas or different things that are needed within their coaching or their consulting business. So this is where, your system strategists, your setup gurus, your people that are really talented or knowledgeable within a specific framework or a tool or a skill is going to come in and be really handy. Now, much like consulting, the key to having a really successful service provider business is to niche down. I need to just make a whole video about niching down because it is so important no matter what industry that you're in, but especially in having a successful service provider business, having a very clear niche. And by this, I just mean getting really clear about what it is, the solution that you provide, that you assist your clients with. What is the thing that you're helping them to do? And what's your specific path of getting there? Why is that going to be so valuable? Making that so abundant and clear to your clients is going to really help you to create a successful service provider business in 2025 and beyond. And again, really focusing that on how your service aligns with the solutions that your clients are looking for. So getting really clear on who is it that you're working with? How is your service helping them to get closer to the solution that they're looking for? How is it helping to alleviate the problems that they are facing when it comes to having their own business or their own things that they're struggling with? How is your service then going to help them get closer to that solution? Those are things that you definitely want to emphasize to have a successful service provider business in 2025 and beyond. So the next business that is going to be fantastic for you to start in 2025 is going to be creating digital products. Now, I talked about this a bit before in the previous businesses, but the benefit to digital products is that they are self-paced. People can kind of jump in at any point, and when they're done right, they can actually work very well in tandem with one-on-one services. Now, the challenge, I think, and where a lot of people have kind of missed the mark previously with digital products is that they've been seen as like this cash grab. They're either priced like so low that it's really hard to create a profit on them unless you have the volume to sustain within your business, or on the flip side, they're priced so highly and it's not equitable to what is actually provided within the digital product itself. So I think in 2025 and beyond, the digital products that are going to be really successful are going to really integrate these aspects of balancing self-paced and one-on-one support. So they'll be really great to work with your one-on-one services and alleviating a lot of maybe the back end work. Maybe you're attracting clients who are asking maybe like the same questions over and over again. Can you provide a digital product that walks them through the process and the framework, and then that alleviates a lot of time and space and energy for your one-on-one service? Maybe it's a one-off call, maybe it's a longer term one-on-one program, and dedicating that time to actually getting down to the nitty-gritty and the work that you actually want to be doing with your clients. Or maybe your digital products are there to serve another purpose. Maybe it's mostly focused on that one-on-one service, and then the digital product aspect can come in for ongoing support. There's so many different ways that you can play around with this, but digital products are going to really play a huge role in alleviating time and space and energy for service providers who want to help more people, but they also want to create that intimacy and that support within their business. Digital products are a fantastic way to do this. So thinking ebooks, courses, audio courses, or private podcasts, swipe files, templates. There's so many different things that you can digitize and automate within your business without taking away from the impact of your in real time coaching or consulting or service providing that you're doing directly with your clients. And so integrating digital products might be a really fantastic way for you to do that within your business in 2025 and beyond. So the next business to start in 2025 are going to be private communities. So a big part of 2025 astrology is really focused on community. It's about finding your people, finding the folks that understand what you are about, that acknowledge the same things that you do, that value the same things that you do, and want to create space around that. And I think collectively, looking back at the last few years, there's been a real epidemic around not just loneliness, but disconnectivity. People are feeling really isolated and disconnected from each other. We've seen this on an upward track in the last few years, but I think in 2025, it's really going to start gaining momentum. It's going to be private community. So creating space for your audience to not just interact with you, but to interact with each other, to come together around a shared idea or a shared mission. This is actually going to be really fantastic, especially if you have your midheaven in the 11th house. This is something that you may naturally be doing already in your business and don't even know how valuable and how futuristic that this is. So private communities are going to be taken to a whole other level. And I think the key here is really thinking about what is going to elevate a private community, what is really going to help bridge that gap between in real life communities and online communities, finding a nice in between space, creating maybe digital events that feel as connected and as supported and fantastic as it is to interact with people in real time, but utilizing online tools in order to do that, or vice versa, maybe integrating and starting to bring together in real life communities and using digital tools as a means for marketing and support around those things. This is really where you can let your creativity thrive. And I definitely see private communities being taken to a whole other level, especially as people are really craving not just the solutions around the problems that they're looking for, but they also want a centralized place to build and sustain community for a longer period of time. The next business to start in 2025 is definitely going to be a curator. So this is quite interesting because so many businesses emphasize the importance of gathering information, of doing things on your own. But I think that a business type that is going to really gain momentum in 2025 is going to be the role of the curator. So the person that is really good at collecting different types of information. Maybe it's people, maybe it's ideas, maybe it's all the above, right? And creating one centralized place to distill, to break down that information and make it available for people to take action on. We're already seeing a rise of this within roundup newsletters, Substacks, things of that nature. But I think curator businesses are going to really take things to the next level in 2025 when they're able to really emphasize and highlight the things that we are as a collective going to be focused on in the 2025 astrology. So looking at what are the things that people are really going to be looking for solutions, they're really craving community and support around, curators are going to really play an important role in gathering that and building the momentum and creating space for the solution makers to not have to wade through so much information to figure out what it is that they need. This video could be a really good example of what you could do as a curator, right? You're taking information and you're making it available for people to get a jump start on so that they can actually use it, they can do something with it, but they don't necessarily have to go through the hard work of finding that information in the first place. You've already done that. And there's definitely ways that you can monetize this by putting it behind a paywall, creating some sort of private community, or even working as a consultant or a service provider. This works so well with the other types of businesses that I've mentioned in this video. No matter what business you want to start, grow, or scale, scale in 2025, it is so important that you really highlight your gifts, your strengths, the things that you have expertise and experience in. That is going to be the most valuable in creating a business around in 2025 and beyond. So definitely let me know in the comments which business you are going to start, grow, or scale in 2025. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.